Usair Razak from South Africa is 4th. Caleb Coxwell from South Africa in Hawthorns Bend is 4th. Peter Bossman is P5. Ridwain Razak in Brabham Straight is P20. Ridwain Razak improved is first with a 148.285. Ridwain Razak is up 10.81 in Paddock Hill Bend. Ridwain Razak is up 10.87 in Hawthorn Hill. Ridwain Razak is up 10.93 in Dingle Dell. Ridwain Razak is up 10.76 in Clark. Ridwain Razak is provisional pole with a 137.461. Usair Razak in Brabham Straight is 3rd. Usair Razak improved is P2 with a 137.797. .336 off pole. Tersus van Tonder in Brabham is 17th. Francois Dutoit is provisional pole with a 137.265. Usair Razak is 4th up 0.38. Taja Ellenson in Cooper Straight is 7th up 0.16. Mfumo Baloyi is provisional pole with a 135.789. Taja Ellenson is up 0.69 in Westfield. Taja Ellenson is up 0.96 in Clearways. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Taja Ellenson improved is P4 with a 137.118. 1.329 off pole. Bill G. Truscott from South Africa in Brabham Straight is 17th. Bill G. Truscott improved is 7th with a 137.756. 1.967 off pole. Devin Norse from South Africa in Brabham is 19th. Chad de Jong from South Africa in Brabham is 14th. Chad de Jong improved his 12th with a 138.381. 2.592 off pole. Darren Norris from South Africa in Clearways is 19th up 2.82. Sean Norse from South Africa in Hawthorne Hill is P11 up 0.43. Siyatu from South Africa in Clark is P2 up 0.12. Ridwain Razak from South Africa in Clearways is 6th up 0.28. Uzair Razak in Clark Curve is P9. Uzair Razak improved his 8th with a 137.559. 1.770 off pole. Sean Norse in Brabham Straight is 11th. Peter Bosman in Brabham is P19. Peter Bosman improved his P7 with a 137.470. 1.681 off pole. Tersus van Tonder in Brabham is 18th. Tersus van Tonder improved his P4 with a 136.732. 0.943 off pole. Darren Norris from South Africa in Clark is 18th. Darren Norris improved his 18th with a 139.103. 3.314 off pole. Nkumo Aloy is provisional pole with a 135.564. Kai Brown is 12th. Kai Brown is up 0.62 in Westfield. Kai Brown is up 0.29 in Clearways. Kai Brown improved his 6th with a 137.224. 1.660 off pole. Francois Dutoit is P8 up 0.38. Francois Dutoit improved his 2nd with a 136.352. 0.788 off pole. Tersus van Tonder in Druids Bend is 6th. Justin Van Wyck in Pilgrims is P4 up 0.10. Caleb Coxwell in Westfield is 20th up 0.58. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Devin Norse is 14th up 0.51. Devin Norse improved his 13th with a 137.587. 2.023 off pole. Dean Jacobs from South Africa is 19th. Best lap is a 1:40.091. 4.527 off pole. Chad de Jong in Paddock Hill Bend is 16th. Devin Norris in Surtees is P13. Best lap is a 1:37.587. 2.023 off pole. The race session is at Brands Hatch Circuit in Foxham, Great Britain. The wind speed is 4 km/h from the northeast. Mfumo Beloyi is P1. Francois Dutoit is P2. Siya Dube from South Africa is 3rd. Justin Van Wyk is P4. Vilji Truscott from South Africa is 5th. Tersus van Tonder is 6th. Taja Ellenson from South Africa is P7. Kai Brown from South Africa is 8th. Ridwain Razak from South Africa is 9th. Peter Bosman is 10th. Xavier Schalkwijk is 11th. Uzair Razak from South Africa is 12th. Devin Norris from South Africa is P13. Sean Norris from South Africa is 14th. Andrew Murray is P15. Chad de Jong from South Africa is 16th. Gerber Kartstens is P17. Darren Norris from South Africa is P18. Dean Jacobs from South Africa is 19th. Caleb Cogswell from South Africa is 20th. Mfumo Beloyi is P1. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start. Francois Dutoit in Halewoods is second. Justin Van Wyck in Paddock Hill Bend is P3. Tersus van Tonder in Surtees is P4. Bill G. Truscott in Hawthorns Bend is P5. Peter Bossman in Westfield Bend is P9. Peter Bossman is now A. Sean Norse in Sterlings is P9. Clark is P10. Darren Norris in Paddock Hill on lap 2 is 11, 0.3 behind Dean Jacobs. Darren Norris passed Dean Jacobs for P10. Dean Jacobs is 11, 0.2 behind Darren Norris. Andrew Murray in Surtees is 12, 0.2 ahead of Kai Brown. Kai Brown in Hawthorne Hill is P13 battling Devin Norse. Kai Brown lost 13th to Devin Norse. Kai Brown lost 14th to Bill G. Truscott. Chad DeJong in Dingledale is 16, 0.2 behind Kai Brown. Chad DeJong is now 14. Kai Brown is P15, 0.2 behind Chad DeJong. Caleb Coxwell in Sterlings on lap 2 is P18, 0.7 behind Herbert Hartstands. Usair Razak in Clark Curve is P19, 0.5 behind Caleb Coxwell. Tersus van Tonder in Pilgrim's Drop is P3, 0.4 behind Justin Van Wyck. Ridwain Razak from South Africa in Hawthorns Bend is 5th, 0.8 behind Francois Dutoit. Xavier Schalkwijk in Dingledale is 7, 0.7 behind Taja Ellenson. Bill G. Truscott is P11, 0.4 behind Andrew Murray. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Kai Brown in clearways is 12, 0.8 behind Bill G. Truscott. Chad de Jong in Brabham is 14, 0.6 behind Peter Bosman. Usair Razak from South Africa in Brabham is 19, 0.2 behind Caleb Cogswell. Usair Razak passed Caleb Cogswell for 18. Caleb Cogswell in Druids is 19, 0.4 behind Usair Razak. Tersus van Tonder is third, 0.5 behind Justin Van Wyck. Xavier Schalkwijk is P7, 0.5 behind Taja Ellenson. Xavier Schalkwijk passed Taja Ellenson for 6th. Peter Bosman is 13th. Peter Bosman is now 14th. Peter Bosman lost P15 to Dean Jacobs. Tersus van Tonder in Druids is 3rd, 0.4 behind Justin Van Wyck. Xavier Schalkwijk is P7, 0.1 ahead of Taja Ellenson. Xavier Schalkwijk was 1.2 faster last lap. Usair Razak entering the pits is P19. Taja Ellenson in Surtees on lap 5 is 8, 0.7 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Darren Norris in Hawthorne Hill is P10. Best lap is a 1:38.154, 2.571 off the fastest lap. Usair Razak exiting pits. Kai Brown in Westfield is 11, 0.3 ahead of Andrew Murray. Andrew Murray in Sterling's is P12, 0.4 behind Kai Brown. Bill G. Truscott in Clark on lap 5 is P11, 0.1 behind Kai Brown. Bill G. Truscott entering the pits is 11th. Andrew Murray in Paddock Hill Bend is 11, 0.7 behind Kai Brown. Peter Bosman in Paddock Hill is 15, 0.7 behind Dean Jacobs. Bill G. Truscott exiting pits. Peter Bosman passed Dean Jacobs for P14. Bill G. Truscott from South Africa in Halewoods is 17, 0.6 behind Gerber Kartstens. Gerber Kartstens was 19.6 faster last lap. Justin Van Wyck on lap 6 is P3, 0.6 behind Tersus van Tonder. Ridwain Razak in Sterling's is 5th, 0.6 behind Francois Dutoit. Francois Dutoit in Clark is 5th, 0.1 behind Ridwain Razak. Francois Dutoit entering the pits is 5th. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Bill G. Truscott is P16, 0.6 ahead of Gerber Kart stands. Darren Norris entering the pits is 12. Darren Norris is 13th. Xavier Schalkwijk in Druids is 6th, 2.5 ahead of Taja Ellenson. Francois Dutoit exiting pits. Andrew Murray in Cooper is 9, 0.7 ahead of C. Yadu. Darren Norris exiting pits. C. Yadu Ben Pilgrims is 10, 0.7 behind Andrew Murray. Caleb Coxwell entering the pits is 19. Justin Van Wyck is P3, 0.5 behind Tersus Van Tonder. Kai Brown is P8, 1.0 behind Taja Ellenson. Caleb Coxwell exiting pits. Tersus Van Tonder entering the pits is P2. Justin Van Wyck entering the pits is 3rd. Ridwayne Razak is 6th. Ridwayne Razak entering the pits is P6. Xavier Schalkwijk is P4. Xavier Schalkwijk is now 3rd. Justin Van Wyck is P10, 0.2 ahead of Chad DeJong. Tersus Van Tonder exiting pits. Peter Bosman entering the pits is P13. Justin Van Wyck exiting pits. Ridwayne Razak is P12. Ridwayne Razak exiting pits. Siyadu Ben Surtees is P7. Best lap is a 1:36.473. 0.890 off the fastest lap. Gerber Kart stands entering the pits is P18. Peter Bosman exiting pits. Siyadu lost P8 to Tersus Van Tonder. Siyadu lost P10 to Justin Van Wyck. Bill G. Truscott is P13. Ufumo Valoyi entering the pits is P1. Gerber Kart stands exiting pits. Justin Van Wyck in Westfield is P10, 0.8 behind Francois Dutoit. Sean Norris entering the pits is 2nd. Xavier Schalkwijk entering the pits is P4. Sean Norris is 2nd. Ufumo Valoyi exiting pits. Peter Bosman is 17th. Taja Ellenson entering the pits is P6. Siyadu entering the pits is 11. Xavier Schalkwijk is 9. Sean Norris exiting pits. Xavier Schalkwijk exiting pits. Dean Jacobs entering the pits is 14. Devin Norris entering the pits is P16. Dean Jacobs is P15. Taja Ellenson exiting pits. Xavier Schalkwijk is P9, 2.3 behind Sean Norris. Xavier Schalkwijk was 1.6 faster last lap. Siyadu exiting pits. Ridwayne Razak in Surtees Bend is P11, 0.4 behind Bill G. Truscott. Bill G. Truscott was 4.7 faster last lap. Dean Jacobs exiting pits. Devin Norris exiting pits. Taja Ellenson is P13, 1.0 behind Darren Norris. Ufumo Valoyi in Clark Curve is P2, 0.2 behind Kai Brown. Kai Brown entering the pits is P2. Fumo Beloy passed Kai Brown for P1. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Justin Van Wyck in Clark on lap 9 is P6, 0.1 behind Chad de Jong. Chad de Jong was 1.7 faster last lap. Chad de Jong entering the pits is 7th. Justin Van Wyck is now P5. Justin Van Wyck is now P4. Kai Brown exiting pits. Kai Brown is P7. Kai Brown lost P7 to Xavier Schalkwijk. Chad de Jong is P13, 2.3 behind Taja Ellenson. Taja Ellenson was 19.2 faster last lap. Chad de Jong exiting pits. Kai Brown in Cooper is P8, 0.2 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Wayne Razak in Hawthorne Hill is P9, 0.4 behind Kai Brown. Bill G. Truscott is P10, 0.8 behind Ridwayne Razak. Ridwayne Razak was 1.3 faster last lap. Bill G. Truscott is now P9. Andrew Murray in Clark is P2. Andrew Murray entering the pits is P2. Francois Dutoit in Brabham Straight is 5th, 1.7 ahead of Sean Norris. Francois Dutoit is now P4. Ridwayne Razak is 7th, 0.4 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Andrew Murray exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott is 8th. Best lap is a 1:36.822. 1.239 off the fastest lap. Kai Brown in Surtees on lap 11 is P9, 0.5 behind Bill G. Truscott. Andrew Murray in Surtees is 13, 0.9 behind Chad de Jong. Dean Jacobs is 18th, 0.7 behind Devin Norris. Sean Norris is 5th, 0.6 behind Francois Dutoit. Bill G. Truscott in Brabham on lap 11 is P7, 0.3 behind Ridwayne Razak. Xavier Schalkwijk in Halewoods is P8, 0.1 ahead of Kai Brown. Kai Brown in Graham Hill is 9, 0.3 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Siyadu in Druids is 14th, 1.5 ahead of Peter Bosman. Siyadu lost P15 to Uzair Razak. Dean Jacobs in Druids Bend is 18th. Best lap is a 1:38.541. 2.958 off the fastest lap. Dean Jacobs passed Siyadu for 17th. Ridwayne Razak in Sheen Curve is 7th, 0.5 behind Bill G. Truscott. Xavier Schalkwijk in clear ways on lap 12 is 9, 0.6 behind Kai Brown. Ridwayne Razak is 7th, 0.4 behind Bill G. Truscott. Bill G. Truscott was 0.7 faster last lap. Peter Bosman in Clark is 14, 0.6 behind Andrew Murray. Peter Bosman was 4.3 faster last lap. Ridwayne Razak in Surtees is 7th, 0.4 behind Bill G. Truscott. The leader has just finished the race. Mpumo Beloyi finished P1. Caleb Coxwell finished 20th. Tersus van Tonder finished P2. Justin Van Wyck finished 3rd. Sean Norris finished P4. Francois Dutoit finished 5th. Ridwayne Razak finished 6th. Kai Brown finished 7th. Xavier Schalkwijk finished P8. Taja Ellenson finished 9th. Darren Norris finished P10. Chad de Jong finished 11th. Andrew Murray finished P12. Peter Bosman finished P13. Usair Razak finished 14. Devin Norris finished 15. Dean Jacobs finished 16. Herbert Hartstens finished 17th. Siyadu finished 18th. Bill G. Truscott is P19. The race session is at Brands Hatch Circuit in Foxham, Great Britain. The wind speed is 14 km/h from the north-northeast. Zwartkops is P1. Gerber Kartstens is second. Dean Jacobs from South Africa is third. Devin Norse from South Africa is P4. Uzair Razak from South Africa is fifth. Peter Bosman is sixth. Andrew Murray is seventh. Chad de Jong from South Africa is P8. Darren Norris from South Africa is ninth. Taja Ellenson from South Africa is P10. Xavier Schalkwijk is P11. Kai Brown from South Africa is P12. Ridwain Razak from South Africa is 13th. Francois Dutoit is 14th. Sean Norse from South Africa is 15th. Justin Van Wyk is 16th. Tersus van Tonder is 17th. Mpumo Baloyi is 18th. Vilji Truscott from South Africa is P19. Caleb Cogswell from South Africa is P20. Zwartkops from South Africa is P1. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." kart stance in Halewoods is P2. Dean Jacobs in Graham Hill is third. Andrew Murray in Surtees is P5. Peter Bossman in Hawthorne Hill is P6. Sean Norris in Westfield Bend is 7th. Sean Norris is now P8. Wayne Razak in Sterling's is 9. Tersus van Tonder in Clark Curve is P10. Justin Van Wyck in Halewoods is 11th, 0.2 ahead of Bill G. Truscott. Justin Van Wyck lost P11 to Bill G. Truscott. Xavier Schalkwijk is P15. Best lap is a 1:55.131. 11.079 off the fastest lap. Devin Norse in Surtees on lap 2 is 17, 0.7 behind Kai Brown. Chad de Jong in Hawthorne's Bend is 5th, 0.1 behind Andrew Murray. Peter Bossman is 6th, 0.1 ahead of Sean Norris. Peter Bossman is now P4. Sean Norris in Clearways is P5, 0.5 ahead of Tersus van Tonder. Tersus van Tonder in Graham on lap 2 is P6, 0.4 behind Sean Norris. Bill G. Truscott in Druids Bend is P8, 0.3 ahead of Chad de Jong. Bill G. Truscott was 3.5 faster last lap. Chad de Jong in Cooper Strait is 9. Best lap is a 1:43.646. 7.153 off the fastest lap. Xavier Schalkwijk in Pilgrims is 11, 0.3 ahead of Uzair Razak. Kai Brown in Hawthorne's Bend is P12, 0.1 ahead of Uzair Razak. Kai Brown is now P11. Xavier Schalkwijk in Sheen Curve is P11, 0.1 behind Kai Brown. Xavier Schalkwijk lost 11th to Uzair Razak. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Francois Dutoit in Clearways is 14, 0.3 ahead of Ridwain Razak. Francois Dutoit was 1.9 faster last lap. Francois Dutoit lost P15 to Justin Van Wyck. Peter Bosman is 9th. Peter Bosman is now 15th. Andrew Murray in Paddock Hill Bend is 20th, 0.3 behind Caleb Cogswell. Andrew Murray is now 19th. Herbert Hartstens is 3rd, 0.3 behind Dean Jacobs. Herbert Hartstens was 1.0 faster last lap. Sean Norris in Hawthorns Bend on lap 4 is P4, 0.1 ahead of Humo Beloya. Humo Beloya is P5, 0.2 behind Sean Norris. Herbert Hartstens in clear ways on lap 4 is 5th battling Tersus van Tonder. Herbert Hartstens lost P5 to Tersus van Tonder. Dean Jacobs entering the pits is 6th. Herbert Hartstens is now P5. Dean Jacobs is 6th. Uzay Razak in Brabham is 6th, 0.3 ahead of Kai Brown. Vilji Truscott entering the pits is P16. Chad de Jong in Druids is P8 battling Ridwain Razak. Dean Jacobs exiting pits. Chad de Jong lost P8 to Ridwain Razak. Justin Van Wyck in Cooper is 10th, 0.2 ahead of Xavier Schalkwijk. Vilji Truscott exiting pits. Justin Van Wyck is now P9. Tersus van Tonder is P14. Tersus van Tonder lost 14th to Taja Ellenson. Andrew Murray in Hawthorn Hill is 16, 0.6 behind Tersus van Tonder. Peter Bosman in Hawthorns Bend is 19, 0.2 behind Dean Jacobs. Dean Jacobs was 3.4 faster last lap. Peter Bosman passed Dean Jacobs for 18th. Dean Jacobs in Dingledale is 19, 0.8 behind Peter Bosman. Uzay Razak entering the pits is P7. Xavier Schalkwijk entering the pits is 11th. Darren Norris entering the pits is P13. Francois Dutoit entering the pits is 14th. Darren Norris is 12th. Vilji Truscott in clear ways is P20. Peter Bosman entering the pits is P19. Uzay Razak exiting pits. Xavier Schalkwijk exiting pits. Vilji Truscott is now 17th. Darren Norris exiting pits. Kai Brown is P5. Francois Dutoit exiting pits. Peter Bosman exiting pits. Herbert Hartstens in Hawthorns Bend is P5 battling Kai Brown. Herbert Hartstens passed Kai Brown for 4th. Ridwain Razak in Dingledale is P6, 0.3 behind Herbert Hartstens. Ridwain Razak passed Herbert Hartstens for P5. Justin Van Wyck is 7th. Justin Van Wyck lost P9 to Taja Ellenson. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Andrew Murray is 12, 0.2 behind Justin Van Wyck. Chad de Jong entering the pits is P7. Andrew Murray passed Justin Van Wyck for 11. Justin Van Wyck entering the pits is P12. Justin Van Wyck is 12. Ridwayne Razak in Druids is P5, 1.1 behind Kai Brown. Dean Jacobs entering the pits is 16. Chad de Jong exiting pits. Andrew Murray on lap 7 is 10, 1.0 behind Tersus van Tonder. Justin Van Wyck exiting pits. Usair Razak in Cooper is P12. Best lap is a 1:38.511. 2.264 off the fastest lap. Dean Jacobs exiting pits. Andrew Murray is 10th, 1.1 behind Tersus van Tonder. Mfumo Baloyi entering the pits is P2. Usair Razak is 12, 0.4 behind Caleb Cogswell. Devin Norris entering the pits is P7. Herbert Hartstens entering the pits is P8. Devin Norris is P7. Dean Jacobs is P20. Mfumo Baloyi exiting pits. Herbert Hartstens is 14, 0.1 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Herbert Hartstens exiting pits. Devin Norris exiting pits. Herbert Hartstens is now 14. Caleb Cogswell on lap 8 is 10th, 0.2 behind Usair Razak. Chad de Jong in Cooper is P13, 0.7 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Yadub entering the pits is P1. Yadub is first. Taja Ellenson in Sterlings on lap 8 is P5, 4.5 ahead of Tersus van Tonder. Ridwayne Razak entering the pits is P4. Ridwayne Razak is 4th. Yadub exiting pits. Taja Ellenson entering the pits is 5th. Tersus van Tonder entering the pits is P8. Bill G. Truscott in Clark is P11, 0.5 behind Caleb Cogswell. Taja Ellenson exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott is now 10th. Ridwayne Razak exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott is now P8. Tersus van Tonder is 13. Tersus van Tonder exiting pits. Tersus van Tonder lost 17th to Justin Van Wyck. Caleb Cogswell is 9th. Caleb Cogswell lost 11th to Xavier Schalkwijk. Caleb Cogswell lost P14 to Devin Norris. Andrew Murray in Hawthorne Hill is 5th, 0.2 behind Mfumo Baloyi. Ridwayne Razak in Hawthorne's Bend is P9. Best lap is a 1:37.750. 1.503 off the fastest lap. Sean Norris entering the pits is first. Sean Norris is second. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Andrew Murray in Clearways is 5th, 1.2 behind Mfumo Baloyi. Andrew Murray entering the pits is P5. Caleb Cogswell in Dingledale is 19th. Uzziah Razak entering the pits is 7th. Sean Norse exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott in Halewoods is P5. Best lap is a 1:37.015. 1.384 off the fastest lap. Andrew Murray exiting pits. Ridwain Razak in Graham Hill is 7th, 0.6 behind Taja Ellenson. Ridwain Razak was 1.5 faster last lap. Uzziah Razak exiting pits. Tersus van Tonder in Graham Hill Bend is P14, 0.4 behind Justin Van Wyck. Gerber Kartstens in Surtees is P16, 0.7 behind Andrew Murray. Kai Brown entering the pits is first. Kai Brown is P1. Peter Bossman is P17, 3.9 behind Gerber Kartstens. Bill G. Truscott in Clark is P5, 0.5 behind Sean Norse. Kai Brown exiting pits. Taja Ellenson entering the pits is 7th. Devin Norse in Brabham is 12th. Devin Norse is now P11. Justin Van Wyck in Halewoods Hill is 13th. Best lap is a 1:37.336. 1.705 off the fastest lap. Taja Ellenson exiting pits. Francois Dutoit in Cooper Strait is 10th, 0.4 ahead of Devin Norse. Devin Norse is P11, 0.1 behind Francois Dutoit. Devin Norse passed Francois Dutoit for P10. Francois Dutoit is P11, 0.2 behind Devin Norse. Justin Van Wyck in Sheenkirk is P13, 0.5 behind Tersus van Tonder. Francois Dutoit in Clearways is P11, 0.3 behind Devin Norse. Tersus van Tonder is 12th. Best lap is a 1:36.816. 1.185 off the fastest lap. Justin Van Wyck in Druids is P13, 0.5 behind Tersus van Tonder. Andrew Murray is 14th, 1.0 behind Justin Van Wyck. Devin Norse in Hawthorne Hill is 10th, 0.1 ahead of Francois Dutoit. Francois Dutoit in Westfield is P11, 0.3 ahead of Tersus van Tonder. Tersus van Tonder is P12, 0.2 ahead of Justin Van Wyck. Justin Van Wyck in Clark on lap 12 is P13, 0.2 behind Tersus van Tonder. Is 13, 0.1 behind Justin Van Wyck. Justin Van Wyck in Graham Hill is 14, 0.6 behind Darren Norris. The leader has just finished the race. Siyadu finished first. Fulo Beloyi finished P2. Kai Brown finished P3. Sean Norris finished P4. Bill G. Truscott finished P5. Ridwayne Razak finished 6th. Chad De Jong finished P7. Xavier Schalkwijk finished 8th. Francois Dutoit finished P9. Tersus van Tonder finished 10th. Andrew Murray finished 11th. Darren Norris finished P12. Devin Norris finished 13th. Herbert Hartstens finished P14. Peter Bosman finished 15th. Taja Ellenson finished P18. Justin Van Wyck finished P16. Uzair Razak finished 19th. Dean Jacobs finished P17. Caleb Cogswell is 20th. Announcer bot is active. Five minutes remaining in the session. Taja Ellenson from South Africa in Dingle is P1. The race session is at Brands Hatch Circuit in Foxham, Great Britain. The wind speed is 9 km/h from the northeast. Peter Bosman is first. Siyadub is P2. Sean Norse is P3. Justin Van Wyck is fourth. Francois Dutoit is P5. Chad de Jong is sixth. Ridwain Razak from South Africa is eighth. Caleb Cogswell is ninth. Dean Jacobs is 10th. Uzair Razak from South Africa is P11. Gerber Kartstens is P12. Kai Brown from South Africa is 13th. Vilji Truscott from South Africa is P14. Tersus van Tonder is P15. Mfumo Beloyi is 16th. Darren Norris is 17th. Devin Norse is 18th. Xavier Schalkwijk is P19. Taja Ellenson from South Africa is P20. Peter Bosman is P1. "20 minutes remaining in the session. Race start." Sean Norris in Halewoods is P2. Zwartkops in Graham Hill Bend is P3. Justin Van Wyck in Zwartkops Bend is P4. Wayne Razak in Hawthorns Bend is 5th. Justin Van Wyck in Dingledale is 5th. Justin Van Wyck is now P11. Peter Bosman entering the pits is 18. Justin Van Wyck is now P13. Francois Dutoit in Sterling's Bend is 15. Peter Bosman exiting pits. Francois Dutoit is now P17. Kai Brown in Clark Curve is P18. Caleb Coxwell is 6th, 0.5 behind Chad DeJong. Darren Norris on lap 2 is 7th, 0.2 behind Caleb Coxwell. Darren Norris is now 6th. Andrew Murray from South Africa in Pilgrim's Drop is 7th, 0.4 behind Darren Norris. Devin Norris in Hawthorns Bend is 9th, 0.1 behind Justin Van Wyck. Dean Jacobs in Dingledale is P10, 0.5 behind Devin Norris. Tersus van Tonder is 11th, 0.5 ahead of Taja Ellenson. Taja Ellenson in Brabham Straight is P12. Xavier Schalkwijk in Halewoods is P14, 0.2 behind Francois Dutoit. Francois Dutoit was 3.9 faster last lap. Xavier Schalkwijk passed Francois Dutoit for 13. Francois Dutoit on lap 3 is 13, 0.5 ahead of Chad DeJong. Uzair Razak is 14, 0.9 ahead of Chad DeJong. Chad DeJong in Hawthorns Bend is 15, 0.8 behind Uzair Razak. Chad DeJong was 0.8 faster last lap. Mfumo Baloyi in Clearways is P3, 0.4 behind Zwartkops. Minutes remaining in the session. Darren Norris in Clark Curve is 6th, 0.2 behind Andrew Murray. Justin Van Wyck in Halewoods is P7, 0.2 behind Darren Norris. Justin Van Wyck passed Darren Norris for P6. Darren Norris in Graham Hill is P7, 0.5 behind Justin Van Wyck. Devin Norris is 8, 0.8 behind Darren Norris. Taja Ellenson in Hawthorne Hill is P11. Best lap is a 140.471. 4.202 off the fastest lap. Xavier Schalkwijk is P12, 0.9 behind Taja Ellenson. Francois Dutoit is P13, 1.0 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Chad de Jong in Clark is P15, 0.1 ahead of Bill G. Truscott. Bill G. Truscott in Halewoods is 16, 0.1 behind Chad de Jong. Bill G. Truscott is now 13. Chad de Jong in Graham Hill Bend is 14, 0.2 ahead of Uzair Razak. Bill G. Truscott is 14, 0.1 ahead of Uzair Razak. Bill G. Truscott lost P14 to Uzair Razak. Uzair Razak from South Africa in Hawthorne's Bend is 15th, 0.1 behind Bill G. Truscott. Uzair Razak passed Bill G. Truscott for P14. Bill G. Truscott in Dingledale is 15, 0.6 behind Uzair Razak. Kai Brown is P16, 0.9 behind Bill G. Truscott. Bill G. Truscott was 0.6 faster last lap. Justin Van Wyck entering the pits is P6. Darren Norris entering the pits is 9th. Dean Jacobs in Clark Curve is P18, 0.9 behind Gerber Kartstens. Dean Jacobs entering the pits is 19th. Francois Dutoit in Druids is P10. Best lap is a 137.249. 1.324 off the fastest lap. Justin Van Wyck exiting pits. Darren Norris exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott in Surtees is P12, 0.6 behind Chad de Jong. Chad de Jong was 0.9 faster last lap. Dean Jacobs exiting pits. Kai Brown from South Africa in Hawthorne Hill is P14, 0.3 behind Uzair Razak. Kai Brown was 2.2 faster last lap. Wayne Razak is P4, 1.0 behind Siyatu. Peter Bosman entering the pits is 20th. Devin Norris in Clearways is 7th, 0.5 behind Tersus van Tonder. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Tersus van Tonder entering the pits is 7th. Devin Norris passed Tersus van Tonder for P6. Tersus van Tonder is P9. Bill G. Truscott entering the pits is P12. Usair Razak entering the pits is 13th. Kai Brown entering the pits is 14th. Mfumo Beloyi is 2nd. Peter Bosman exiting pits. Caleb Coxwell entering the pits is 17th. Tersus van Tonder is P13. Tersus van Tonder exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott exiting pits. Kai Brown exiting pits. Usair Razak exiting pits. Darren Norris is 14th. Caleb Coxwell exiting pits. Kai Brown is P16. Best lap is a 1:36.969. 1.044 off the fastest lap. Francois Dutoit in Dingledale is 8th. Xavier Schalkwijk on lap 7 is P9, 0.2 behind Francois Dutoit. Francois Dutoit was 0.9 faster last lap. Devin Norris entering the pits is 6th. Herbert Kartstens in Sterlings is P12. Best lap is a 1:39.150. 3.225 off the fastest lap. Francois Dutoit entering the pits is P9. Xavier Schalkwijk entering the pits is P10. Devin Norris is P10. Herbert Kartstens entering the pits is 14. Devin Norris exiting pits. Xavier Schalkwijk exiting pits. Francois Dutoit is P15. Francois Dutoit exiting pits. Francois Dutoit lost 15th to Usair Razak. Wayne Razak in Westfield is 4th, 0.7 behind Siyadu. Herbert Kartstens exiting pits. Bill G. Truscott in Surtees Bend is P12, 0.4 behind Devin Norris. Mfumo Beloyi entering the pits is 2nd. Mfumo Beloyi is 2nd. Siyadu entering the pits is P4. Justin Van Wyck in Sheencurve is 8th, 4.1 ahead of Tersus van Tonder. Taja Ellenson entering the pits is 6th. Bill G. Truscott is P12, 0.2 behind Devin Norris. Mfumo Beloyi exiting pits. Siyadu exiting pits. Xavier Schalkwijk is P13. Taja Ellenson exiting pits. Taja Ellenson in Paddock Hill Bend on lap 9 is P13 battling Kai Brown. Taja Ellenson lost P13 to Kai Brown. Francois Dutoit in Druids is 16th, 0.5 behind Usair Razak. Devin Norris in Surtees is 11th, 0.4 ahead of Xavier Schalkwijk. Xavier Schalkwijk was 2.0 faster last lap. Sean Norris entering the pits is 1st. Xavier Schalkwijk in Hawthorne Hill is 12th, 0.3 behind Devin Norris. Wayne Razak entering the pits is 2nd. Kai Brown is P13, 0.8 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Chad De Jong entering the pits is 5th. Sean Norris exiting pits. Wayne Razak is 4th. Ridwane Razak exiting pits. Ridwane Razak lost 4th to Siyadu. Devin Norse in Brabham is P11. Devin Norse is now 10. Chad de Jong exiting pits. Kai Brown in Druids Bend on lap 10 is 12th, 0.4 behind Devin Norse. Taja Ellenson in Cooper Straight on lap 10 is 13th, 0.6 behind Kai Brown. Uzair Razak is P14, 0.7 behind Taja Ellenson. Andrew Murray entering the pits is P1. Andrew Murray is first. Taja Ellenson in Dingledale is 13, 0.4 behind Devin Norse. Devin Norse was 4.8 faster last lap. Uzair Razak is 14, 0.6 ahead of Francois Dutoit. Andrew Murray exiting pits. Francois Dutoit in Brabham is P15, 0.5 behind Uzair Razak. Dean Jacobs in Clark is P18, 0.3 behind Gerber Kart stands. Chad de Jong in Paddock Hill is 19, 0.9 behind Dean Jacobs. Chad de Jong passed Dean Jacobs for P18. Dean Jacobs is 19, 0.8 behind Chad de Jong. Sean Norse in Clearways is second, 0.4 behind Kumo Valoya. Tersus van Tonder in Clearways on lap 11 is P7, 0.3 behind Andrew Murray. Darren Norris in Clark Curve on lap 11 is 10th, 0.2 behind Xavier Schalkwijk. Xavier Schalkwijk was 2.3 faster last lap. Kai Brown from South Africa in Halewood's Hill is P11, 0.6 ahead of Taja Ellenson. Taja Ellenson is P12, 0.4 behind Kai Brown. Devin Norse in Surtees is P13, 0.6 behind Taja Ellenson. Taja Ellenson was 0.7 faster last lap. Francois Dutoit is P14, 0.8 behind Devin Norse. Francois Dutoit passed Devin Norse for P13. Devin Norse in Dingledale is 14th. Best lap is a 1:37.318. 1.393 off the fastest lap. Chad de Jong in Westfield Bend is 17th. Best lap is a 1:37.633. 1.708 off the fastest lap. Chad de Jong is now P15. Caleb Coxwell in Sterling's Bend is 17, 0.8 behind Chad de Jong. Gerber Kartstens on lap 12 is P18, 0.3 ahead of Dean Jacobs. Gerber Kartstens is now P17. Dean Jacobs in Halewoods on lap 13 is P18, 0.2 behind Gerber Kartstens. The leader has just finished the race. Ufumo Beloyi finished first. Sean Norris finished P2. Siyatu finished P3. Peter Bosman finished 19th. Ridwane Razak finished 4th. Justin Van Wyk finished 5th. Tersus Van Tonder finished P6. Bill G. Truscott finished P7. Xavier Schalkwijk finished P8. Kai Brown finished P9. Darren Norris finished 10. Francois Dutoit finished P11. Taja Ellenson finished P12. Devin Norris finished 13. Uzair Razak finished P14. Chad de Jong is P15. Caleb Coxwell finished 15. Chad de Jong finished P16. Dean Jacobs finished P17. Gerber Kartstens finished P18.